Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Lysandra, and today we are going to be cash planning $2,000. So let's get into it. So yes, welcome back everybody. As you can see, it's a little bit of a different setup this time, only because I really wanted to kind of take a step back. I know there's a lot of people who have reached out who are just starting to kind of dip their toes into cash stuffing, have a lot of questions and things like that. So I just thought I would kind of give a basic rundown of how I come up with my $2,000. So, yes, this is my Bible because I have all of our doctor's appointments, meetings, games, all the things, including all of our bills. And as you can see, there's quite a bit that comes out every month. So, how we go about this, I do follow Desiree over at Happy to Plan. This is kind of how she does it, and it makes so much sense. So, my husband and I get paid bi weekly. So, here is my indicator of okay, this is the day that we get paid. And then here are all of the bills that are going to be hitting our account during this pay period. So, let's just say that our paycheck is $4,000. I'm just throwing out an even number. So then I'm going to sit there and I'm going to take each bill. So, like propane, $4.59. That's something different. That's not going to come out of this. Sorry. Spotify, $13. And so on, to the point where let's say I'm left with $1,000. Okay. And then from there, this is where it is, how do I want to say this? Based on your preferences as a cash stuffer. So, for example, I do not stuff for gas. That just stays in our account because we just pay at the pump. It's just a lot easier. So, I would take this $1,000 and I would say $80. I want to make sure I have $80 in our account for that, which is going to leave us with $920. But let's say to take that one step further, let's say you want to have just like a safety cushion. So for example, if you go to Walmart and you're buying groceries and you go to a register that doesn't frickin' accept cash and you have to use your card, maybe have a buffer in there. So let's say I want to keep a $200 buffer in the account for that reason. I would take off the $200 and the $720 is what I would be cash planning for. So I really hope that makes sense. The numbers I know I used were weird, but that's just how I go about figuring this all in. And yes, and I try to take those unexpected expenses into account, but that's also why we do cash unstuffing. So if we do have to use our card, we get home, we take it out of the envelopes and get it back to the bank so that way you don't have to worry about having the cushion in the bank. But it's nice to have. So anyway, I am so sorry. That was a very quick explanation. There's so many great cash stuffers in this community that also go into a deeper dive, if you will. So I'll leave some of them linked down below. Binge watch, you guys. Binge watch because you will take a little bit from this cash stuffer, a little bit from this cash stuffer to come up with a method that works best for you. So I encourage you to please do that. It's a wonderful community and you can really learn a lot. But our ultimate goal is to work our way towards financial freedom and really give every dollar a plate. Like, know where every dollar is going. Because prior to my cash stuffing journey, we would just swipe that card to the point where we're like, how the hell do we only have $20 left in our account? That is no longer the case. And we're just eternally grateful for this process. So, without further ado, my bad, I can't talk. We are going to cash plan $2,000 for the next 2 weeks. And I've also simplified some things, which I'm not done. I'm still kind of really evaluating what's needed. So, for example, I had a nails category. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just dumping it into beauty because I consider that like an extra service, beauty service. it makes sense in my head right now. And then I'm simplifying, what else? Our kids' envelopes, that's a whole nother thing. We'll get into that when we get there. But okay, as always, we're gonna start with our savings challenges because I need to know how broke they're gonna make me. So let's get our dice tower out. Let's get our, I do this every time. I do it every time. Get our savings binder out and get to rolling. I think, yep. All right, so Love is Neutral, Angela over at EmsoBudgets, and she's got a new launch coming tomorrow, so go check her out. We are gonna roll 4 times. So here is our first roll, which is a 1 and a 5. I'm just gonna use my calculator here. So a 1 and a 5 is $3. Roll number 2, a 6 and a 6, which is $3. And then 4 and a, oh, okay, well, we'll do that instead. A 1 and a 5, which is a 3, and then our last roll is a 5 and a 4. 5 and a 4. Another 3. All right, so $12 for that one. And then next we're doing Power Up. Same thing. I'm gonna roll 1 die and see how many. Oh, 6. Okay, all right, we can do this. So we've got a 5 and a 6. So 5 and 6 is $1. And then a 1 and a 6 is another $1. I don't know why I always get so nervous because it seems like this is usually pretty good to me. So a 6 and then a 2, another $1. Okay. A 3 and a 1. 3 and 1. Another $1. 2 more rolls. A 6 and a 2. So 6 and a 2. Shocker. Another $1. Last roll. A 4 and a 6. And that is, ooh, that's a $10. Okay. So 15 for that. That's cool. I don't think I've ever gotten a $10 one before. Nice. That's exciting. Okay. Next. Oh shoot, I forgot to grab my, let me grab my little box really quick. My incredibly scary Go Mommy challenge. Oh, I'm telling you. I got a sneak peek of what some of these cards entail, and I am so nervous, but also excited. All right, so we've already played those. So this one, drum roll. Current age of your firstborn child. He is 17. So holy buckets. But I love it. Okay, put that away for next time. Yeah, the one that I got a sneak peek of has to do with magnets. Oh, Lord. I'm going to take you guys along with me. Yes, I am. Because that's, yeah, it's going to be a lot. All right, so this is going to be our last scratcher with, this is Budget with Maddie, Mystery Savings, High Denomination. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. I see a, oh, okay, 25. That's not as bad as what I was thinking. And that completes that challenge. Oh, it was so nice. It was very fun. So I better get another one out. Yep, that was the Mystery Savings. But first, let me go ahead and do my other new little scratcher. I'm calling it my Autumn Savings. And it saves us a total of $25. So eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We're going to scratch this one. $3. Not too bad at all. Okay. So $3 there. And then 1 second, let me go find another challenge to replace Maddie's. I found the perfect one. So this is actually also from Budget with Maddie, and it was actually a collab that she and 5 others did. Yes, I think so. This is from the Mean Girls collab, and it's Boo You Beep, because I don't think I can say that. So this would be perfect because there's a little ghost and Halloween's coming. So we will add that to the stack. But yes, these are the other challenges from the other group. It's Angie's Finance, PurelyBudgets, the Raemarkable Dollar, the Millennial Dollar, and Simply Budgeted. So I think some of them might still have these available in their shop because it was a limited time thing. So anyway, go check them out because I can already tell this is going to be great, and it's going to save us $100. So at least I get to pick and choose which one I want to use. So, all right, that takes care of those. And now we're going to go into my 100 envelope and see which pocket we want to fill. I think I am all the way up to, yep. So we'll just stick with 18 for right now and see where that takes us. Because yeah, I really want to hit some of these other categories. So $18 there. And then what I have learned from lots of trial and error, I'm going to add these up, and then I'm actually going to write the amount right here so I can keep track, and it's easier to tally at the end. All right, so that's $90 altogether in our savings. So then 2,000 minus the 90, all right, 1910. So let me get some of this stuff moved out of the way, and then we will go back to the beginning and start off in our wallet. And yeah, I think I'm just going to continue with what I was doing before, which I actually, oh, sorry guys, sorry. I need to reference my last sheet just because I didn't do that. So I'm, eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Yep, this one. So I'm just basically going to copy these amounts because they're working awesome. I still have just a little bit of leftover money, so I'm just going to copy those really quick. Groceries is going to get 400, so 200 a week. And then household is going to be getting 40, so 20 a week. Spending was 120, 80 for my husband, and then 20 each week for me. Coffee, I have 20 here, but we're actually gonna, no, that'll be perfect. And then eating out, 40, and then buffer, 20. Okay, so then let's go ahead and subtract those. Okay, so $12.70 is what we have left to work with here. So let's start off in high priority. And so auto, I'm going to be changing this to auto. Yeah, so that way I can use it for car washes, which I've been doing more of with my new baby, and just anything auto related. I think it would just really help. So we have 120 in here, so I'm going to do 30 so we can have an even 150. And then emergency, we're at 150, so let's go ahead and just do 25. Taxes, we have 100, so let's do 25. And I'm sure I'll be going back and bumping some of these up. Christmas has 150. I'm just gonna do, yep, so I'm just gonna do 25 here because this one. So in the midst of like planning and like I just kind of like did numbers and scribbles and everything, in order to hit the amount that we need for this, the end of November, I have to stuff $125 every paycheck until November. Yeah, $747 is what we are paying with 4 vehicles. So it's not like it's just my car, but so 125 is going to be going into registration. It's a big chunk, but you know, hey, it really does pay off. And then propane, I'm actually going to be paying that bill tomorrow. So I'm just going to start over at 25. And then medical, let's see, medical we've got 75, so yep, let's do the 25 in there. And then dental, also 75, so we will do 25. And then vision has 100. Let me see here. Oh my gosh, I don't think it has 100. I think I goofed on my math. Hold on. Let's verify this. Yeah, that's 75. All right, whatever. So let's do 25 so we can get it to the 100. I don't know what I was thinking that day. Okay, so then we'll go to low priority, which, as you may have noticed, I used to have home improvement and extra debt in high priority, but even though they're still important to us, they're not quite as important as, like, for example, registration. So home improvement, I think, let's see, we're sitting at 150. So I'm just going to put 10 in here. Okay, and then landscaping, I think we will do, we're going to do 50 in here because it's still important, just, yeah. Home decor, it's just going to get 5 because I've got 50 in there, so. And then pets, we're at 70, so I'm going to do 30 to make it an even 100. Gifts, we've got 25, so I'm going to add 15, just because I know we've got some things coming up soon. Vacation has 140, so we'll just go ahead and do 10. And then subscriptions, we're just going to do 5. Okay, and then pool, we've got 60. Let's do 20. Okay, and then extra debt, we have 125, so let's go ahead and do 25 towards that. Okay, and then next will be personal. Starting off with hair, which, like I say, I still have a ways to go. Like I won't need an appointment soon, so we'll do 25 in there. Beauty, so we're sitting at 77. So let's just do 5. I think that's more than enough for right now. Clothing is completely empty, so let's go ahead and do, yeah, let's do 25 in here, just because I know the boys probably need a few things now that it's starting to get cooler. Hobbies is 35, so let's do 15 in here. Make it an even 50. Tattoo, I've got 65. Let's just do 10. Okay, and then Happy Mail, got 10 in there, so let's do 10 as well. Because Angela, she's got a new launch dropping tomorrow, and I'm really kind of excited about it. So I just want to be ready. All right, and then kids. Kids is cut and dry. So this is the change that I made that I was telling you about. I had several different categories in each one. I may regret this. I don't know. I have all the envelopes still if I change my mind, but I think I'm just going to bucket everything. So Jacob has his, Mason has his, Brayden, Livy, Addie. I just think it's going to be easier to do it that way, and that way my husband and I can make the decision, you know, as far as what would qualify. I don't know. It's to be determined, but I just want to give it a shot. So each kiddo will be getting 30. Which is a total of 150. Leaving us with 530. Yeah, we've got a lot left. Okay. But that's good. I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm complaining. So I'm just going to do 25 in all of these for now. Because again, it's important, but not like super high on our priority list. I think that's 200. 25, 50, 75, 1, 25, 50, 75, 2. Yep. So that leaves us with $330. So let's go back here and see maybe where we want to adjust. I need to grab my whiteout. So where do we start? Well, obviously, let's start in high priority because that's definitely where we want to go. So 120. So I was going to add 30 to be 150. So let's do an extra. Let's do 55 here to make it 175 in there. What did I say? 55? Yep, 55. Okay. And then emergency, we are at 150. Let's go ahead and add another 50. Let's just make it 200. I hope that's right. Good Lord. We'll find out at the end. All right, so then taxes, I think we're, yeah, I really want to up that too. So we'll do 50 here, which is going to be 25 out of there. And then Christmas. So if you haven't noticed, I do a hump day holiday savings. And so I have a Christmas envelope in there. So that's going to help. So we've got 150. So let's go ahead and make this a 50 as well. So an extra 25. Okay, then registration. I just feel like we have a good plan for that. So I'm going to leave that as is. Propane. Yeah, let's go ahead and make that 150 as well. So another 25. We're getting closer. Medical's fine. Dental's fine. Vision's good. Okay. So let's go to... Go back to, let me look at low priority. Home improvement, landscaping, home decor. I'm just thinking. So I think it would be cool to do the 19 as well here, because we've got 18, 19. Should we go ham and just do the 20 as well? Yeah, I think so. Yep. So 19 and 20 will get us down to 166, because there's a plan for this. And it's coming up next September. So, let's see. So, yeah, let's go ahead and go in here and see what we want to do. Home improvement. So, where are we at with that? Home improvement, we've got 150, and I was planning for 10. Let's go ahead and do, let's do 50. So, it'd be another 40. Okay, and then landscaping, let's go ahead and make that 100. So that would be an extra 50. Because I'm telling you, landscape, it's really important to us. It really is. Then home decor, I'm good with that. Pets, I feel like we're good with that. Gifts, we could do 25. Yeah, so an extra 10. So 10, leaving us with 66. So what were we doing for vacation? Yeah, 150, I think that's good. Subscriptions, we're at 101 for that. So we're good. Extra debt, okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking, oh my goodness. So let's do, yeah, this is the hard part. Like just making sure that you're allocating appropriately. I keep going back to these, but I also don't want to get in a pinch. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to have fun. If it's an even number, we're going to put it in extra debt. If it's an odd number, we're going to put it in vacation. So it's an even, so it's going in extra debt. And we're going to go ahead and do, see, where are we at there? 125, we were adding that. So we're going to do, yeah, we're going to do an extra 50. So we're going to do 75 to get that up to 200. Yep. So that's 50, leaving us with 16. So I think the 16, I'm going to dump that into hair just to kind of give it a little extra. So 25. Yep, numbers are hard. So 25 plus the 16. So 41 is going to be going into hair. Seems weird, but again, I just want to get ahead of it. So, okay, I am going to add all this up, make sure it equals the 2,000, and I will be right back. I'm so sorry, my angle might have changed. My son called. They are not out TPing right now because it's homecoming week. So he was sending me the coordinates on where to pick him up when I'm done. So anyway, everything added up to the $2,000. So now I am just going to go through, and for you that are new and trying to understand this more, this is where you do all your tallies. So that way you know what denominations you want. So I'm just going to, I'll do it in the high priority. So 55, obviously that's going to be 150 and one $5 bill. 50 is just 150, 150, 150, and then I'm going to do 100, and then I'm going to do a 20 and a 5. And you just do that for all of your categories, amounts. Obviously, like with groceries, I like to do 200 a week, and I like to do a 100, 50, 70, 90, 200. And then I'm going to just do that again, so that way I have that for each week. I'm so sorry. I hope that's not too confusing, but so that's how I go about it. Yeah, I would say most of us do that, but the wallet is where it gets a little different. Anyway, I'm rambling. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comment section, or you can find me on Instagram. I'm more than happy to answer any questions over there. So I'm going to finish this up, fill out my teller slip so that way I can take this to the bank tomorrow. I won't be cash stuffing until Saturday because tomorrow is our big homecoming game and Mason will be playing. I'm so excited, so nervous, so please send good vibes. Say a little prayer that he doesn't get hurt and just all the good things. Anyway, so I will see you next time for the cash stuffing. Bye, guys.